welcome to The Print. I'm Akanksha Mishra and this is Scientifics, where I'll be taking you through this week's top science news from around the world. Have you ever felt suddenly scared by a loud noise or your friend jumping out at you? What about when you're alone and you're afraid that someone's in the house with you? How do you overcome that fear and anxiety? Well, scientists from University College London now have an answer. By looking at how mice respond to perceived threats, the scientists wanted to understand the processes in our brains that lead us to overcoming this instinctive fight or flight response. The scientists found that this overcoming of fear comes from a part of our brain which is called the VLGN, which learns that certain threats like loud noises are actually harmless. However, the interesting thing that the UCL scientists discovered is that in the study, they found that the VLGN in this case is helped by the visual areas of the cerebral cortex, which is the outermost layer of our brain. The cerebral cortex sends signals to the VLGN and helps it recognize which visual signals are threats and which aren't. You must be wondering, what's the use of a study like this? Well, the scientists in their paper showed that it could be used to understand what happens when the overcoming fear response in humans is sometimes impaired in cases like PTSD or anxiety disorders. It could lead to new treatments for these disorders. Our next story is an interesting one. Did you know that whales helped marine ecosystems by pooping in the oceans? That's right. Scientists from US have looked at how the decimation of whale populations in the Southern Ocean near Antarctica has led to a larger consequence for the algae, phytoplankton, krill and other marine life. While initially whales were recognized for their role as a predator species in the oceans, recent studies indicated that they might also fertilize the ocean bed with their excreta. The paper, published in Communications, Earth and Environment Journal, analyzed samples of baleen whale poop to find that there were high concentrations of iron and copper present in it. These are nutrients that are very scarce in the oceans and they help in sustaining phytoplankton population. These phytoplankton again help in sustaining krill populations, and whales then feed on the krill. So when humans started hunting whales for their blubbers and other commercial properties, it threw off the entire ecological balance in the Southern Ocean. Now let's move from the Earth's oceans to an extraterrestrial ocean. A new study on 6th February found how Saturn's moon Enceladus, which has a subsurface ocean, might harbor life in it, but we can't access it with our current tools. Explaining the new research on ocean stratification, the scientists from the University of Reading said that the ocean that's at the southern pole of Enceladus forms distinct layers that do not mix with each other. It's sort of like how water and oil mix with each other in a jar, in that they don't. The only evidence that we get from the ocean in one of Saturn's moons is the water vapor plumes that are observed by NASA's Cassini spacecraft. But if the layers of the ocean water don't mix, then the water vapor is only from the surface of the ocean, and now we don't have access to any evidence from the depths of Enceladus's oceans. The time it takes for water from these depths to reach the surface and then the water vapor plumes is in thousands of years, and without it, we can't conclusively make a case for either the existence or non-existence of life on Saturn's moons. Finally, let's end this with another story from Antarctica, except this one is from 69 million years ago. Researchers from the US have found a fossil of a bird which is called Wegavis ei, which is the earliest known fossil of a modern day bird. What's so special about it? Well, Wegavis existed at around the same time as the Tyrannosaurus rex. In fact, a number of birds and ancestors of modern day waterfowl existed and shared space with dinosaurs in the Cretaceous period. So what happened when the asteroid hit and all dinosaurs died? How did the birds survive? The answer lies in Antarctica. There's theories that being in Antarctica insulated a lot of these birds from extinction, since the climate was more temperate than what was happening in other parts of the world at the time. But the bigger question is, was Wegavis even a bird? US researchers whose paper was published in Nature journal put that question to rest. For the first time ever, they found a complete skull of the Wegavis, showing how its beak size, the lack of teeth, large brain size and strong jaw muscles are all similar to water birds of today, thus proving its ancestry. That's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning into The Print.